What's up, guys? Al here with,
Chris.
and today we're going to talk about Unbreakable and Split. Kind of leading up to the Glass movie coming out, like, probably by the time this is edited, the movie will be out, and we'll be watching it and reviewing it then.
Mm-hmm.
So we just want to talk about, kind of do a review, rehash of the whole M. Night Shyamalan.
Shamalama Ding Dong. M. Night Shyamalan.
Whatever, his trilogy
Yes.
that's coming, full circle with the Glass that will be released.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I had an idea to do this the other night. I guess I messaged you about it because I knew you wanted to do Glass.
yeah.
And I thought, why don't we do a precursor video, talking about his second movie and, I don't know, what, 7th or 8th movie? I don't know, hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, Unbreakable, which I remember when it came out, my friend James, he really suggested, he's like, dude, you need to see this movie, you're into comics and stuff like that, you really like this. And I was like, oh, okay. And I don't remember seeing much advertising for the movie when it came out or anything like that.
Yeah, it was, 2000, I think?
It was like 2000 or 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't remember there being much like TV spots or anything like that for it. So, yeah, it was definitely, it was interesting. It had an interesting spin on the whole superhero thing where, like, basically, here we have these extraordinary people, and, you have, the comics are kind of like a, bystanders telling of the story where, like, they over-exaggerate everything so that to the point it's, like, so over the top.
Yeah, where it's like...
And really these stories, they're not like that. Like the whole movie, and this is one of the biggest detractors from it for people, and why they didn't like it, is because, spoilers, I'm not going to go into like detail, but all of the action happens at the end, and there's very little action.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it's an origin story, but even for an origin story, like with the comic book movies at the time, I mean, it just didn't fall in lockstep with the comic book stories of those times.
Yeah.
Because everything was about action, and we're going to tell as much information as we can and push as much of the crap from the comics into one movie to where it just feels like a jumbled mess. Whereas this kind of just like, it just takes a very, 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 very slow baby step approach to showing how this guy has. And honestly, if you look at it from a cynical point, it's almost sort of lackluster towards the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
If you're cynical about it.
Yeah.
Now, if you can appreciate it, it's an excellent movie, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it just because it did take that slow approach. It took time to build the story and the characters in it, and it wasn't like, all right, we got to throw a bunch of action in here. Shyamalan, he does... sorry, it's hard.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan. We'll just call him M. Night. M. Night.
Yes.
M. Night he's great at filmmaking. I think he gets a bad rap for the whole twist, but he's great. Like, if you watch all these movies, like I just watched like Unbreakable, and then I just watched Split, his cinematography is great. He does these long pan shots that are really neat, and like these big wide, and he tells a story where it's not all focused on like superheroes and like he even explains that Samuel L. Jackson's character, Mr. Glass, is telling like how Egyptians used to write on walls, and that's how they told their story.
And basically comic books in the
comic
modern
books
day,
are
hieroglyphs.
Over-exaggeration of that. So he does a great job in telling the story, and he doesn't get over-extended with the action and the trying to make it an action movie. It's a drama piece. It's very character-driven.
Well, I'm back. Let's dial it back a second. Were you talking about his cinematography?
Yeah.
Some of the shots in there are beautiful. I mean, Ashley was saying we were watching it in the scene where he's finally realized what he is and why he is.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, go to the nearest crowded area and just hold your hand, just wait and you'll see. And she's like, why? God, it looks so drab in there. And I was like, why is that guy, that guy has all kinds of color on it. I said,
yeah.
That's because he's honing in on that person. And that's, and you start to see all these horrible things that these people have done. And he's just picking and choosing who he's going to go after.
Yeah.
And the other scene that really sticks out in my mind from that movie is the opening scene, where it's shot from the perspective of a 6-year-old girl who's kind of eavesdropping on a conversation, and it keeps like seats are here, and you're looking over here, and you're seeing the girl come in, sit next to him, and then she comes back over, and you're looking through it at Bruce Willis, and then it's a pretty neat exchange. I really liked it.
It like that whole exchange where he's hitting on that girl, but he's also like married, and you were like, oh, this guy's kind of like a scumbag. And then
you know how Ashley is with that. She goes, why is he taking his ring off? I said, just wait, you'll understand.
Yeah, and then like it's very where it's like a subplot that is explained without having to come out and say it. Well, like they never really say, hey, we're getting separated.
Well, they do. They don't say that, but they come back and it's like, hey, we're still going to try.
Yeah, it's like
so it's kind of inferred that they're having issues.
He does a very well job. Like at first you're like, oh man, Bruce Willis is a piece of shit, and then it comes back and it's like, oh, he's this,
Well, it's like you can tell he still loves his wife, but he kind of realizes things are over and it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And that's what he's trying to force himself to move on when neither one really wants to. I mean, the guy gave up his entire football career just to be with her.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, and they don't really go into that, something just wasn't clicking in the relationship. I think mainly he wasn't happy. I think that's what they're trying to convey. Like he's, they tell him like, I woke up this morning and all I felt was sadness.
Yeah.
And I think he's just so depressed that it's actually just taking its toll on his relationship. And then it's kind of funny because at the end of the movie, he's smiling. Again, spoilers.
This whole thing is spoilers.
He's smiling. Well, for anybody who's
if you haven't seen it, it's been out since.
It's been out 19 years. But he's smiling and he's happy, and his son and him have this which I never appreciated the first time I saw it because I wasn't a father when I saw it. But as a father watching it. And seeing this little exchange that he has where he slides the newspaper over to his son, and his son looks down and he goes,
and he like,
and his
he like tears.
And his son starts to tear up,
and
then he looks over and he goes, and it's just like, it's kind of neat because as a dad I can appreciate it,
Yeah, that I mean the movie. In between that and Split, I would say Split is better because I don't know, it has a rewatchability factor, but Unbreakable in itself, it's well done. Like,
it's a very well done movie. It does feel very artsy, but that's the whole point of it.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole thing's about comic book art. Another scene that sticks out to me that I always really liked about it is Mr. Glass's mom.
Oh yeah.
When she's doing the tough love thing. I had a very hard. My mom always had had to wear two hats. She wore mom and dad hat.
Yeah.
So it was like, I see her and I see my mom, with Mr. Glass's mom, and she's, I've had enough of this. You've sat in this room for too long, and I've let this go on for too long. She's like, now you're going to get up, and I got you something, and he's like, yeah, well, where is it? He says, across the street at the park on the park bench. Somebody's going to take it. She's like, well, you better get out there and get it then. And he does. He gets up and he goes out and he gets. That's how he finds his first comic book.
Yeah.
And then comic books shape his whole life, from being in and out of the hospital and reading.
Speaking of cool cinematography, I remember when he opened the comic book.
It spins the whole thing. Well, the whole scene spins,
down.
But the comic book stays right side up the whole time.
And then it like spins around to like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, he does.
He does a lot of really neat shots.
Yeah, there's another one where it's after him and his wife are kind of like talking together, and they're in this restaurant, and you see like this really wide shot, and you see them talking in the background, and the colors are nice and like orange and warm, and it just kind of does this really slow, long pan to them talking. And
they're just having a conversation, and it's just like the whole time the camera's panning.
Yeah, it's just
right until the end of the conversation, then it cuts scene.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, it's timed perfectly.
Yeah,
and the guy's a genius.
Yeah, he really is.
He is. One of the other things he does too, and this is the one thing I didn't notice and Ashley mentioned it, and I forgot about it. But he likes to play cameos in every single movie.
Oh yeah, he's very.
However,
Tarantino.
In Split, I did not see him in Split. I saw him at the end of Split because I have the special edition of Split, and he looks like Chris Angel now.
He's because I just watched it like 2 days ago.
Maybe I just didn't recognize him because it's been so long.
If he's the old lady that's like the psychiatrist.
Yeah.
She goes after the first time he comes to the office.
Yeah.
she goes and looks at her cameras.
Yes.
He's the guy operating the cameras.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, now, okay, yep, no,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, he does the Quentin Tarantino where he likes to put himself in stuff. And like
So-
Stanley almost. Yeah.
Let's wrap it up on
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I think with Unbreakable, I think it's a very intellectual piece. It's something that, just the way I equate, I'm pulling a Mike Stokowski, but you know, you've got Star Wars. You've got Star Wars, and that's for people who want eye candy and just want action, swinging swords around and stuff. And then you've got Star Trek, the higher intellectual thing where you can have an episode where there's no action, and it's all about character development. If you want something that's like a little more intellectual, this is not a Marvel movie. You're not going to get.
You could equate it almost to the movie at the time. I think the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire was the same.
This came out
Pretty close.
either before or right after.
Yeah, you think of that comic book type movie, and you think this comic book type movie, like.
And they're night and day.
Yeah, it's like.
No pun intended.
Yeah, it's like I always like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies because they have that realistic. Yeah, it's still
a lot of action and stuff,
but it's very
it's
realistic.
intellectual. Yeah, it's more believable.
Yeah, it's less CGI, more real people.
Real quick, we're getting sidetracked as we always do, but on a different note, I went back and watched the old Spider-Man, like I thought I was watching fucking Power Rangers or something, dude. When Green Goblin shows up, he looks like dude, is this like freaking Ultraman or something? This is horrible. Like, but sorry.
Yeah, go back and watch Spawn if you haven't.
I have. Oh god, the CGI is horrible. At least that shit was practical
and then, like,
effects.
Black leather, like.
Well, Randy
outfits.
loves practical effects. That's,
Yeah.
But yeah. Honestly, this is an intellectual movie. It is not the Avengers. It's not even Iron Man. Which Iron Man kind of felt a little more intellectual than like Avengers does at this point. Yeah. Which I'm a huge Marvel fan. I'm not bashing on it. I love all of them. I can't wait for the new Avengers to come out. But it's definitely, since Disney's gotten its claws into it, it's kind of just they're dredging them out.
Yeah, they're really.
I mean, they're good movies, but they're definitely, there's some.
You know what you're going to see.
Yeah.
Like
this was sort of like nobody knew what it was. It wasn't even advertised as a superhero film.
Yeah.
When it first came out, like you had no idea, and that's the coolest thing about his stuff is like you don't ever know what you're going to get.
Oh yeah.
Which is also the downfall of why I think already Mr. Glass is getting bad reviews and everything, because it's become fashionable since Robot Chicken came out with like, what a twist, to make fun of M. Night Shyamalan. So like now it's like, oh, we're just gonna hate on his movie just because it's the cool thing to do.
Yeah, it's a popular thing to smash on because he uses twists in a lot of his movies. Not all of his movies.
Not all of them, but most of them. Well, like The Village, like the whole time you're sitting there watching it. Like, again, spoilers. If you have not seen that movie, I'm about to ruin the whole premise of it for you. You're sitting here thinking they're in the 1800s, and the next thing you know, it's like modern day, and like some dude's in the car, and these people just chose in the 70s to just go live off the grid.
Yeah, like same with Sixth Sense at the end. Oh, Bruce Willis was dead.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see dead people.
What?
Yeah. So, another movie, Fallen, sort of like that twist with Denzel Washington and John Goodman, where you find out at the end that like you thought that like Denzel Washington doesn't die.
I don't know
because he's narrating it, but it's Zazel is this demon that can possess people, and at the end of the movie, he's like, "I want to tell you about." In the beginning, he says, "I'll tell you about the time I almost died," and at the end, you find out that he's narrating it in Denzel Washington's voice, but it's actually not him. It's Azazel. Azazel lives, and Denzel. Yeah, it's like the demon lives.
Oh,
yeah.
Way to ruin it for me.
Yeah.
Some that's one thing I want to talk about with this tied in with those, like some of those twist movies. I can't go back and rewatch just because it's like
what's going to happen.
I know you were talking about that one, but another one is Shutter Island.
Shutter Island. I never saw that with.
Okay, well
that has. Who am I thinking of? That guy is just dreamy.
Yeah,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, he's such a handsome fella.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that one. I'm not going to ruin it for
Go
you.
ahead.
No, I'm not going to.
Get me back.
No, that Fallen, I never even heard of that,
Hit
so
me.
it's probably you have to see it for yourself. But it has one of those twists, and it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah,
like, it's really good. Like you watch it, and you're like, wow, this is cool. But it has that twist, and I'm just like, man, I know the twist. It's even like, I'm like, I don't want to watch it again.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's like some of the Shyamalan movies, like they're great, they look beautiful, but like sometimes when you rewatch it, you're like, man, I know the twist. Like Unbreakable, at the end he shakes his hand, and he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then like I knew that coming into it, but there's still parts there I was like it made me appreciate how he filmed it and the cinematography.
I had forgotten, like, because I hadn't seen that movie. I bought it on DVD maybe 2 or 3 years after it came out, and I hadn't really watched it probably since like 2006.
Yeah,
and
it's been a while.
Yeah, and I hadn't watched it, and I watched it with Ashley. It was neat watching somebody else. Movies like that I can watch with other people to appreciate their reactions, which is one of the things I love to do with movies. Like if I've seen them, I watch movies like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it is neat if somebody's never, oh, you've never seen that? Oh my God, you've never seen that? And you have to watch and you almost like gauge the reaction, which kind of puts them on the spot and makes them feel kind of like, whoa, dude, like chill. But
yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, I enjoyed watching it again because like, I honestly had forgotten a whole bunch of stuff that would have gone on. And she was like, well, you've seen this, haven't you? And I was like, yeah, like twice or 3 times.
Yeah.
And it's been forever. I can't remember what happened. And I'd totally forgotten about that guy killing his people and moving into their house.
Oh, really?
I thought that like the mom lived, but she didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways,
one more thing on that. What do you think about the acting as far as Bruce Willis, Samuel Jackson, and the mom?
Well, everybody thought that it was real like dry and tonal, like it was just like he was like, But I think that he played the character perfectly because the character is being played as a depressed person who is not happy in their life,
and that fits. Bruce Willis is kind of.
He feels like he's meant for something more.
Yeah, and Bruce Willis, like his acting is very like that in a lot of his movies, but this kind of like you got to think he.
No fucking shit, lady. Why not gonna order a fucking pizza? No, sorry.
But like, the tone of him fit it, and I think also I think Samuel L. Jackson was fucking great in this. Like he.
Do you know what doesn't even go through my mind until just now, and I don't even know why? But I know they're both in those movies, but I never put 2 and 2 together to really think about it. That, 5 years earlier he's in Die Hard with a Vengeance playing with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, and they also were in Pulp Fiction.
Oh shit! Wow, yeah. See, I'm not even thinking about that stuff, and I'm usually thinking about I'm all over the place with that stuff.
The story arc in Pulp Fiction, their characters never.
Well, that's the thing too. Like here in this, their characters don't really ever cross paths too much either. He's like there just to like kind of like nudge him.
Yeah.
But other than that, like Mr. Glass is doing his own thing, and what was David Dunn? David Dunn's doing his own thing. So the two are like they have minimal interaction.
But yeah. So overall in that movie, I think the acting was really well. I like Samuel L. Jackson. The mom was good. The kid was all right in my opinion. He was.
Yeah.
Some of the parts, the one part where he pulls out the gun, I was like,
that part, yeah.
Seems a little.
I don't know, I don't know. I mean, yes and no. I mean, I think everybody at the end of that scene just collapses. So
yeah.
It's like, you can tell it all. They took emotionally, it took the toll on them. But
yeah.
Well, why don't we move on to Split? All right, so Split. It's the follow-up to the hidden follow-up to Unbreakable,
yes.
Which I only knew because other people had told me about it.
Yeah,
so when I watched it, I was like, "Oh, okay, so this is going to be." It'd be interesting to see how they tie it in.
Yeah.
But then at the end, like I really was not expecting to see David Dunn sitting in the cafe with him. And I honestly, I kind of felt like that whole thing was just sort of like an afterthought. Like he started writing this movie, and he started shooting this movie, And I'm thinking maybe like 3 weeks before production was over or something, he's like, dude, this guy would make like a sick freaking super villain, you know?
Maybe.
Like, I should just, why, everybody else is tying all these movies together doing these superhero movies. Why can't I do that? And he's like, I'll tie this in. Here's how I'll do it. And the lady, it just sounds so forced. The lady's like, they're watching the news in the diner. And she's like, this is just like that one guy that they put away 15 years ago. What was his name? Aren't you unbreakable? What was his name? And he's like, Mr. Glass.
Yeah, they could have like do like a pan over and he's sitting there drinking his coffee.
His name was Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
I like the idea that they're doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. It could have been like an afterthought. It could have been maybe he had it planned the whole time. Because if you think about that movie, there's not a
I think he's too smart to like not have. I think you and I both edit. You know how it is, and sometimes like you do get an idea, and then you have to kind of like fly by the seat of your pants and like, throw it in there and like hope that it like meshes. And I think that's kind of what he did. It really felt like it was just like it wasn't the original intention, and he's like, all right, fuck it, we're doing a reshoot, and here I didn't have time to write this, but I'm on a deadline. Here you go, say this line. You know, like. Because it really doesn't play, and he did have an alternate ending where it did just show James McAvoy sitting outside of a school, like up on a rooftop, looking down. Yeah, and the alternate ending was like it was just like dumb.
Yeah, like, I never saw the alternate, but that was one like Split. Like it didn't have a super big twist in it.
No,
it wasn't one where you're like, oh shit. It was like
the twist is, hey, the Beast is fucking here.
Yeah, and well, like the girl at the end is. Like when he's just about to like attack her, and it's like,
here's Ashley's gripe: the girl at the end. So, and it makes sense that they're showing her backstory with what happened to her as a child, and it's really kind of gross. And she's got a creepy uncle, and he's molesting her, and but her dad before he died showed her how to use guns, so it makes sense that she knows how to load a gun, and she's a good shot and everything. And she almost kills her uncle. Yeah. And there's all this stuff with her uncle, and I told her, I think the only reason... Now, Ashley goes... Now, she doesn't have a shirt on at the end, and then she has these scars and cuts all over her body, and you can... And, like, nobody bothers to ask her, like, hey, did he do this to you? This looks like this has been here for a while. Are you, do you need help? Hey, by the way, your uncle's coming to get you. Like, so this girl's still in hell.
Well, if you... Like, as I just said, I just watched it. Like, if you watch, like... I think throughout the whole movie, she's going through this process and ordeal, and I think it's bringing, like, that's why there's these flashbacks. I think it's bringing that stuff up in her. At the end, she's sitting in the cop car, and the cop comes over and goes, your uncle's here, do you want to go with him? And she just looks at the cop, and she has that, like, very dead, sad, like, face, and she doesn't say anything. She doesn't get up.
The cop doesn't say anything either.
But it's kind of, I think it's kind of inferred that she's like, no, I don't want to fucking, she's finally... build herself up. Yeah. She's went through this whole ordeal with James McAvoy, like, and the whole like escaping, and I think it's made her stronger so that at the end it doesn't say it, but I think she is finally like, no, I'm like my uncle was a fucking creepo, and that's what I think. Well, in my opinion, that's what
Ashley just thought it was weird. Like no one's trying to like turn this into child protective custody or anything like that, but at the same time. Most beat cops, they've got a bunch of shit to deal with. They're not trying to do that. If you're not bringing it to them, they don't want to hear about it. Yeah. So, and it's unfortunate. It's how the world is. But I also told her, I said, I think he's saving her for the next movie. Yeah. There's a possibility. Two ideas that ran through my head. There's a possibility that one, David Dunn bumps into Mr. Glass or James McAvoy's character, Kevin, damn, I can't think of his name. They say his whole name.
Kevin something Gum.
Yeah,
Crumb.
Kevin Crumb. Kevin Leroy Crumb or something like that.
Crumb, maybe.
But yeah, bump into them that way by helping her, or maybe he helps her. But she is in the trailer, so I did see that. Yeah. So she's still in the next movie, so she's going to have an important part to play somehow. Yeah. The other idea that I had is not just being a character to introduce. The two of them to kind of bring everybody together, but does she have her own abilities? Is she special in some way? Could that be something that could happen or that could blossom out of this movie?
I'm sure she plays a part. I'm not sure how big of a part. I mean, yeah, like we saw her in the trailer. Maybe it's just a snippet, or maybe there is something more there that we don't know until.
Well, we're getting sidetracked here.
Yeah.
The Split. So 23 different people inside one person's body.
I love this movie.
I do too.
When I first saw it, I was blown away, and I was like, yeah, it's got the Shyamalan feel. Like you can tell he's got a lot of wide, really cool shots in it, but it's still like it's a good movie. It's rewatchable. Like I saw it a year or two ago when it like not long after it came out, and I just recently watched it again like last night or 2 nights before, and yeah, it's just and fucking McAvoy in that movie is so fucking good.
Can I tell you something Ashley said to me when we were watching it, because we did watch it together?
Yeah.
She goes, you know the 9-year-old? I can't remember his name. But the 9-year-old, she goes, he sounds like Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Frank the Gamer.
Hey everybody, my name is Frank the Gamer.
Someone's coming for you, and you're not gonna like it. You guys make noises in your sleep.
From Game Beaters.
Hedwig.
Yeah, he's like, the other ones, they make fun of me, but like, I'm going to... Dude, he's great. He's like, I have a room with windows in it, and I listen to my CDs, and I can dance.
Yeah, I don't... If they would have gotten somebody, I don't think that movie...
No, I know, right? Man, he did such a phenomenal job. He should have won a freaking Oscar off of that movie. That's insane. I absolutely love when an actor plays different characters.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie Murphy was always great with it.
Yeah.
Who else? Adam Sandler has done that.
Where they do like, yeah.
I mean, I could give you a million different examples, but for whatever reason, I'm just drawing a blank.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I love it when you got multiple actors playing something like Norbit.
Oh yeah.
I love Norbit.
Yeah.
Like that's great. Like and Coming to America.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, yeah. But yeah, some people are talented enough to do that and to keep all that stuff separate and compartmentalized. And I mean, a role like that could literally make you crazy. I mean, look at what happened to Heath Ledger. With the Joker, and like to a lesser degree, douchebag Jared Leto. He's sending people condoms and rat feces and shit.
He didn't kill himself, but
yeah, I kind of wish he would have. But I love Jared Leto. He's amazing.
I have not seen Suicide Squad. I like 30 Seconds to Mars.
I don't.
Older stuff.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Anyways, back on track. Yeah, so James McAvoy, I mean, like the OCD guy, and you're watching him like switch, and you can like there's a part where he's in his psychiatrist's office, and like he's talking like, oh, this napkin thing is out of place, and he's like.
Yeah, where it's she's like, I don't think I'm talking to
Donnie, or I think it's Donnie or something like that.
Yeah, it's like Dennis, maybe.
Dennis.
I don't know.
And she goes, I think I'm talking to Dennis.
And then he finally he's trying to. You can tell it's Dennis is trying to be this other personality, and then all of a sudden you just see it just click, and then he changes his whole face changes. One of my favorite scenes in it is after he's the Beast. And the girl's there, and she just got the shotgun, but she doesn't have the shells for it.
Yeah.
And she's the old lady scribbled say his name.
Yeah.
And so she said his name, and you see him drop, and he falls. And,
which, by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's really sad what happened to him. I mean, it's, that created these entities.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
But and he comes back, and he's like, oh, where am I? Is it still 2014?
Yeah.
And then he's like,
I was on a bus.
And he's like, oh shit. He's like, just fucking kill me. And then, right as he's like, no, and it was a different personality, and you see the change in the face, and it's just him and her go, and then it was like this.
Dennis
you
is
could just
there,
see this whole,
and then what's the other lady's name?
the lady.
I can't think of her name.
I don't know.
There's so much to keep track of with this
Yeah.
movie. It's like impossible.
Yeah,
I've only seen it once.
but like that scene where it's like him changing, and it's like it almost looks like different people. Like even though it's the same guy, he does it so well.
Dude, when he comes in as a woman the first time, I'm like, oh my god, like whoa.
Yeah.
Like, because he pulls it off so well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got his posture. She's very prim and proper. She almost reminds you of like a I don't know, like a 1960s school teacher or something, you know.
Yeah.
And she's turtleneck, and he's got the shawl on her. And, yeah. Yep.
But yeah, it's very. It's like just like we were talking about Unbreakable, very character driven. It's a very like building around these characters, and it's just.
I will say this: in the beginning, there is a scene when Dennis is there, and he's abducting all of the girls, and you want to yell, God! I was yelling at the team like, why the fuck didn't she just open the door and get out? So dumb. Why? Just open the fucking door and get out. And without character development later on in the story, once you watch it and you go back and you think about it, if you were to watch it a second time, it makes perfect sense why she never got out. Because she's used to being frozen in place by fear by the shit that her uncle's doing to her. So it's like, she's already damaged goods.
Yeah.
And it's apparently obvious, after you see the movie. But in the beginning, the first 3 minutes of the film, there's no explanation as to why she's like not trying to get out.
So slow. And,
well, she's been like people that go through that type of shit. They've been trained to be obedient, like against their will, and it's like that type of shit happens, and it's like, so it makes sense why she can't open the door, and it's just like wow. I mean, it's a heavy movie. There's a lot of heavy subjects in that movie. I mean, like mental health, not pedophilia, but physical molestation, of a child, abuse. Yeah. It's just, but like all his movies deal with like a lot of heavy subjects. Like Unbreakable. I don't know. It all has a very somber feel to it.
It is.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And like the whole mental, like the whole split personalities. I think it came out at a really good time because back in like the late '90s, split personality, that was like a big thing on like talk shows and stuff. Yeah. And it's kind of going by the wayside. It's not as popular as it used to be. Everybody's like, oh yeah, split personalities. Back in the day, I remember that shit was like.
Well, that's the way everything is, man. It's the hype of the week, and then it goes away, and then we don't talk about it. It's like school shootings were like a big thing. South Park made a big deal about that, like in the last season on South Park. Like, there's a school shooting happening at South Park Elementary every single day. Yeah. And they're like, oh, another school shooting, and they're just like playing on their phones. Like, Like, and there's people screaming and running down the hallway, and they're like, oh, another school shooting. Like. Yeah. But
yeah, it's like that kind of went away, and then this movie came out, and it reminds you how crazy that whole split personality thing actually is, and how like you're just like, wow, yeah, these people do.
Crazy is an appropriate word, and also an inappropriate word. Yeah. Yeah, like mental health is a serious thing, it's a serious issue, and one that I'm all too familiar with. So
it's very.
I mean, it affects a lot of people, and it can be a very taxing thing on anyone. Especially the people it's happening to. And a lot of people, a lot of times, like somebody in that situation might think that oh, this sucks and it's happening to me, and they're not even thinking about how it's happening to the other person that's involved. So I mean, like the amount of crap, like you see that guy goes through, like when they yell his name, when she yells his name out, and he comes back and like he goes, it's 2014, right? It's like, it's August 3rd, 2014, right? She's like, no. And
she didn't even say anything. He's like,
it's not, is it? He's like, the last thing I did was get on a bus. It was 2014. He's like, he's been like, I think this came out in 2016, 2017?
2016.
He's been on a bus for 3 years in his mind, like, and it's like, wow, dude, like, imagine how that must, like, these entities came out originally to protect him. Yeah. And now they've like hijacked his body.
Yeah, that's what like the horde, which is like the bad ones in it.
Yeah. The aspect I think of that the human mind can, if you reach the potential that the human mind can reach, that it can actually change the body's physiology. Where like one of his entities has diabetes. Yeah. But none of the other ones do. and his mind believes so much that he is this person, that this person actually has diabetes. So when he's in that form, his blood sugar can go low. He can go into diabetic shock.
It's very strong on the power of the mind.
Yeah.
The whole and that's why like the whole beast thing is like the mind is so powerful that it can create this supernatural kind of creature, even though it's still man, it's still human, but he
to the point where he can take a shotgun blast point blank to the chest and it doesn't kill him.
Crawl on walls and like
which is also why it attracts, I think, Samuel L. Jackson's character, Mr. Glass, so much in the new movie.
Yeah, which
I guess we can do predictions for now.
Yeah. Do you have any that you?
Well, I mean, I see the lady that's in this psychiatric ward.
Yeah.
From the trailer, puts them all together in the same spot because she wants to pretty much witness some sort of explosion, because she sees these things and realizes there is some truth to it, and probably, I mean, you see her flashing James McAvoy's character with like lights, and it's like pulling different entities out of them. She's like, no, I don't want to talk to Dennis. Click.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to talk to Hedwig. Click. I want to talk to the Beast. Click. Where's the Beast at? Click. And like he just keeps falling. He's like, you have no idea who you're messing with, lady. Like comes out like. So she's trying to bring the Beast out, but the Beast I don't think can be controlled. Like where Samuel L. Jackson, you see him saying, "I want to speak to the Beast." He's like, are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
And it's like the Beast wasn't willing to talk to this other chick, but like he's willing to come out and talk to Samuel L. Jackson's character because he realizes that they kind of have aligned purposes.
Yeah, they're the two villains in the.
Well, I don't think that the Beast. I think for the way it goes is that basically the Beast just wants to be seen and heard and wants everybody to know that they exist.
Yeah.
And he realizes, so he's like neutral.
Show their potential
of what they can be.
Yeah.
And that's his driving force. And they show that at the end of the movie. But I mean, so he's he's walking a neutral path. He's on the fence. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's bad. I think he, if he was pure evil, he would have killed that girl anyways. But the thing is, he wants to eliminate anybody who hasn't had something horrible happen to them.
Yeah, because the other two girls that split, like they're like nice, happy, had a happy life kind of thing, and
he's basically I think he's the manifestation of jealousy of that from inside James McAvoy's character, that all these people had great happy lives. I in my mind I cut to the scene from As Good as It Gets, where he's like, it's not that you're angry that you had it so bad. It's just that you're angry that other people had it so good, and you're really pissed.
Yeah.
Good times, noodle salad. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. Just no one in this car, but a lot of people. That's their story. Good times, noodle salad. What makes it so hard is not that you had it bad, but that you're that pissed that so many others had it good.
Yeah, and it's like, I think that is really his mindset, is like, he's so angry that other people have had it so good. And that it just, that's the main driving force for him. It just enrages him.
Yeah, and there's like that whole, at the end where he's chasing the girl down the hallway and he has that dialogue scene where he's talking about, we are, we're broken and it makes us stronger.
Yes.
Like we are stronger because of
what's happened to them.
Yeah, and that's
when in reality he is broken though.
Yeah.
I mean, but he doesn't see that.
Yeah.
Because when you're in that situation, it's kind of hard to see the forest between the trees. So, I think he's middle of the road. Of course, Bruce Willis, David Dunn, he's the good guy, and then you've got Mr. Glass, and I think Mr. Glass is going to use him. However, I think the twist in this one is at the end, he's going to realize David Dunn has had some horrible stuff, in his life, and it's going to be like he's just going to collapse and implode on himself because it's like mentally, even though his brain is at full capacity, he can do all these amazing things. I think his brain is actually just going to under the weight of all the stress of this, is just going to give in on itself and implode. So I mean that's where I see it going. I don't know. I've been wrong about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, my predictions are mainly at the end of Unbreakable. They put away Mr. Glass. He's locked away wherever. And at the end of Split, the Beast got out of. He's running free.
Yeah.
And you see Bruce Willis's character at the end of Split, and he's like, "Oh, it's like." You hear him here. He knows about the news article. He knows about the Beast. And I think there's a run-in with David Dunn and the Beast, and it ends where they're both. Something happens where they're both incarcerated, and then it ends up with. That's where you get the scene with the lady, and they're all together in that room.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how they. I think
that's.
I think the Beast is actually going to get David Dunn incarcerated.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something where there might be a fight.
Yeah.
And like the cops come in and they don't
thing
realize David is good.
The thing that I haven't figured out for this, and I'm sure it'll be made apparent when we see the movie, but what's the driving force for Mr. Glass other than, hey, I'm evil and I'm a bad guy? What's his driving force? What's his motivation?
His first thing was...
I mean, he has been locked up for 15 years.
He wanted to find out that there are other people like him.
Yeah.
Because he grew up with broken bones. He said, there's got to be a polar opposite of me.
But he says, now I know my place. I know where I stand.
Yeah, now I know I'm...
But the thing is, what's his driving force still, though? I mean, like...
Yeah,
I'm going to poison all the water in Gotham. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like...
Yeah, it's... Well, I guess...
like, the Joker really didn't have a motivation other than he just wanted to piss off Batman. Like, if you look at the Nolan Joker.
I think Mr. Glass is just upset that everyone, upset that everyone had it as good as him. He grew up on a childhood where he couldn't go around because
he pretty much had to be, his childhood was
comic books
gone.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, he's just mad at everyone for having a better life than him.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We'll find out when we watch it.
So, I guess, there's not really much else to talk about.
Yeah.
So.
We already covered James McAvoy's great acting.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about the girl?
I liked her.
She was in... Have you seen The Witch?
I think
I've told you about that.
I have not seen that movie.
Witch is one of my favorite movies.
That's the one spelled with 2 V's?
Yeah, like the Witch. The Witch! Anyway, she's the main girl in The Witch, and she's fucking great in that. And I saw her in this one. I'm like, oh... Like, I think it's the since I like the movie so much, like now it's like, but she's still good.
I think it's just the direction.
Yeah.
The direction of the acting. From the director.
Yeah, she was really good.
She
old lady was good too. Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't have. I mean,
it wasn't
quiet.
Yeah, it wasn't a very big role for her. It's a lot of just her not even talking very much, but still she, displayed that air of being broken and But all right, so got anything more you want to talk about?
No.
Okay.
So if you guys like this video, click like, click subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Also, in the description, we're up for YouTuber of the Month. So in the description below will be a link that will take you over to our nomination video that's on Do You Nerds channel. They're an awesome channel. While you're there, check them out. They're pretty cool people. They do unboxing videos. They do all kinds of different things. They're really awesome. There's a nice couple that runs it, and the Game Beaters were nice enough to nominate us for January.
Really cool.
January.
A lot of other cool channels in there too. Check those guys out too.
And we got 4 other channels in there besides us, and every one of them is a gem. It's a diamond in the rough. It's up and coming YouTube channels, and what is it? Mile High Gamers. They do
Mile High Gaming. It's like 2 guys in Colorado.
They hunt. They do
game hunting. There's PK versus the World, which is like a guy who's just kind of his own kind of review channel.
We do Herb Wars,
and then there's Herb Wars is up for it too.
And then
he's over in Philly too.
Oh, he's in Philly. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's really close.
Oh, we should maybe talk to him then.
Yeah.
And then you got Cool Boy Conundrum, and he does a lot of playthroughs and stuff like that, where he does some funny editing into his stuff and things like that.
He's a funny guy.
He's a pretty funny guy. So yeah.
Also, comment what you think about these 2 movies. What your thoughts are and what your predictions are for Glass. Sorry for interrupting, but
no.
Yeah, I like to hear other people's opinions, what they thought about the movies, and we are planning on going to see Glass at some point.
I don't know if we'll get together at the same time. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, So we're gonna see it. We'll probably give it a review then, and come back and see if our predictions were close.
Probably not.
Probably not. Probably.
My predictions were way off from Last Jedi.
Yeah.
God, I wish my predictions would have come true. I wish anybody's predictions would have come true. It would have made such a better movie. Yeah.
Enough talking about that.
Okay. Well, thanks guys for watching, and go ahead and do all that stuff we said to go do.
Do
please.
the stuff. Do what we said.
Hey, we love you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Peace.
Hey there, if you like what you saw, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button to keep updated on all our reviews, streams, and other random stuff. And leave a comment down below, let us know what you thought. Thanks, have a good day.